Hello everybody, Rifle Chair here, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about the No. 4 Lee Enfield bayonet. You'll see here we have an assortment of bayonets, with the exception of this bayonet right here. I'll get into why that's here. These are all bayonets designed to run on the No. 4 Lee Enfield. I'll talk about why there's a Mosin-Nagant bayonet here in a second. There are a number of different generations of bayonets that were used on the No. 4 Lee Enfield throughout the rifle's lifespan, and the very first series of bayonets for the Lee Enfield rifle were referred to as the No. 4 Mark 1, and these were a very well made bayonet. They had a distinctive cruciform blade on them. That's the reason why the Mosin-Nagant bayonet is here. Just to show you what a cruciform bayonet looks like, because I don't actually have a No. 4 Mark 1. Don't confuse, when I say No. 4 Mark 1, I'm talking about the No. 4 Mark 1 bayonet, not the rifle. So the No. 4 Mark 1 cruciform bayonet was very, very well made. And they all had kind of a socket scabbard like this one here. Like these ones here. It would look exactly like this, except it would have a cruciform blade on it, like this Mosin-Nagant bayonet. Very well made. Then comes along the No. 4 Mark 2, which is this bayonet here. Another really well made bayonet. The milling quality is beautiful, nicely polished, there's no sharp edges. Really, really well made. The plunger, everything inside here is really well made, and it fits the rifle beautifully. It doesn't even rattle. The No. 4 Mark II, if you can get them, are a nice piece for your collection. After the No. 4 Mark II, there was actually a No. 4 Mark II Star, which I don't have displayed here, but essentially what it was a similar type of system as this, except they just basically welded on a nail. I mean, it's not all one piece. It's a two-piece bayonet with a weld mark right here. Very, very crude bayonets, and in that, you know, they're cheap and affordable to make. The idea was that once the bayonet was actually inserted into the person, you would turn and then pull out. And what that did, and unlike a German bayonet, a blade bayonet, when the bayonet was inserted, it would cut, whereas these would rip. And it's disputed as to whether or not ripping or tearing flesh actually causes a more adverse wound, rather than slicing, getting a clean cut. So really, really nasty, these weapons of war here. The second, after this No. 4 Mark II, there was a No. 4 Mark II Star, and as we go on through the generations here, you'll see that there's basically a decrease in the amount of attention that was paid to these bayonets. Here we have a No. 4 Mark III, and it is extremely crude. These are all sheet metal, chunks of sheet metal that have been welded together, and you can see the weld right here. The sleeve, which is for the spike, was inserted and welded in place. Very, very crude. All stamped parts. You could see where, you know, this is the very last generation of the spike bayonets that were ever issued. Very, very crude a bayonet. Functional, entirely as functional as any of these other versions, but not pleasant at all to to look at. You know, you want them to be functional. If it's one thing the Brits are, they're good that way. And of course, I had to include the one of the very last iterations of the Lee Enfield bayonets out there. This here is the number 9 Mark 1, which many of you will see on the No. 4 Mark IIs, especially the Irish contracts, which is what this was actually issued with. An Irish contract Lee Enfield No. 4 Mark II. So that's a real quick snapshot into some of these bayonets. I'll give you a quick primer on how to tear these things apart. It was one of the requests from some of my viewers is that I do more technical Lee Enfield videos. So let's just do a quick teardown of this bayonet. What you're going to need to do is get yourself a punch or a a piece of maybe like a screwdriver like what I've got here, you're going to need it to insert into this hole. If you can see that. This hole right here, they all have it. Every single one of these bayonets have this. Okay? There's a hole here, hole here, hole here. You need something that's going to be able to get in there. Essentially, you insert, the plunger in behind will move down and up. You may need to try this a few times before you get it. Out it comes. Okay. When I initially got these, they were covered in mung and dried cosmoline. They weren't really very functional, so you got to clean them up, and it's good to do anyway. So proper maintenance for your Lee Enfield. Clean them up, get all the cosmoline out, clean them back up, and I've got a small coat of grease on the inside here because it's all part of the maintenance. So essentially, when you want to when you've torn this apart, what you did is you inserted your inserted your punch. You depressed the rod into the body as far as you can get it, and then you pry up, okay, in order to release the thumb depress mechanism here, which mates with the plunger. Okay, and that'll pop it up. You remove it, clean it out, and when you want to insert it back in, you essentially you won't be able to get the plunger to line up with the hole, but you just line it up as best you can, push in, and it will eventually snap back down into the recess. Easy peasy. Okay, let's do another teardown here. Let's use the Mark III for this. Get these out of the way. Now, these will also be full of cosmoline, and it's extremely difficult to get that cosmoline out. What I do is I took this, I tore it down. In order to tear it down, you're going to need a smaller screwdriver. And there's 2 screws on the other side. You gotta take them out. It's good to lube these up too, by the way. Okay. And then this piece here will just come out. You may need to work it out. Now you're gonna want to clean all the cosmoline out of here, okay? And you're gonna want to clean the cosmoline out of here. What I like to do is heat these up. I just set it down on the wood stove for about 5 minutes, get it nice and hot. And then I'll use just a small cleaning rod, get in there, get all the mung out. I've already cleaned these. And maybe give it a spray of WD-40 or this. If you can find this cleaner right here, it's absolutely fabulous. Comes with a spray nozzle. Highly recommended. As a replacement to CLP. Okay, then you're clean. You got it all cleaned out. You know, give it a little coat of grease right around here. Just some bearing grease or something like that. Insert it back in and reapply the screws. Simple. These screws can be a bugger to get back in. I believe these are a zinc material. Now here comes one of the sprogs down the stairs with his truck. So if you're like me, you've probably got bayonets sitting around collecting dust, full of cosmoline, never really worked properly. Hi, Boo Boo.
Hi, Daddy.
Okay. Ouch.
Oh.
Go back upstairs and play, please. This here is history, guys. This here is just another variant or version of history, just as important as any other, and it deserves your care and respect. Okay, so how does the bayonet fit onto your number 4 rifle? Very, very simple. It uses the bayonet lugs. Okay, so you align it so that your bayonet lugs, you gotta have it on a bit of a 45. Press in, turn. and the bayonet is now affixed to your rifle. When you want to remove it, you got to hit the plunger, turn it again, and off it comes. You want to make sure you try to clean the cosmoline out of this area, because the last thing you want is a hot barrel, and then having cosmoline oozing out of your bayonet into your muzzle area. It's not a good situation. So again, very quickly, in, on. That's it. This is another very, very quick rifle chair video. Hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, Maple Leaf up.